Watch what happens. The next time you step into an elevator alone, or the moment you stop at a red light, or the 3 seconds of downtime between tasks at work. Before you even realize it, your hand moves. You unlock your phone, scroll for 6 seconds, close it, and then open it again. You aren't looking for anything specific. You aren't texting anyone. You are just checking. Why is that impulse so automatic? We tell ourselves it's just boredom. We say we are just killing time. But if you stay with that feeling for a moment longer, you'll realize it isn't boredom. It is low-level anxiety. We live in an age of pathological connection, not because we love people, but because we are terrified of the alternative. We use noise to drown out the gnawing feeling that something is missing. You treat your phone like digital anesthesia, dosing yourself every time a quiet thought tries to surface. But here is the truth. You cannot hear your own intuition when you are constantly reacting to the world. You cannot build a legacy while you are busy maintaining a reputation. The thumbnail on this video says, "Disappear for 6 months." And I want to be clear, I am not suggesting you run away from your life. I am suggesting you run toward the person you've been avoiding. To find your own voice, you must first stop consuming everyone else's. Let me ask you a question, and I want you to answer it honestly. How much of your personality is actually yours? If I stripped away your job title, your Instagram bio, and your current friend group, what would be left? We like to believe we are individuals. We believe our desires are unique. But psychology points to a phenomenon called Mimetic Desire. It suggests that you don't actually want the things you are chasing. You only want them because you've seen other people want them. Think about it. Have you ever noticed that when you hang out with a cynical friend, you start complaining more? Or when you watch a certain YouTuber for too long, you start using their slang? That is the mechanism at work. You are absorbing the anxieties, the limitations, and the goals of the people around you through osmosis. You are a remix of everyone you have ever met. There is a famous saying, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. But look at those 5 people. Are they free? Are they fulfilled? Or are they just as distracted and anxious as you are? Here is the danger. You cannot outperform your environment. As long as you remain plugged into the matrix of your current social circle, deep change is mathematically impossible. The social gravity is too strong. Every time you try to evolve, the subtle pressure of the group will pull you back down to their baseline. Not because they hate you, but because your growth highlights their stagnation. To find out who you actually are, you have to sever the connection. You have to step out of the echo chamber. You need to stop being a reflection and start being a source. And the only place that can happen is in the void. Let's be very clear about what happens when you disappear. The first 30 days will not feel like a spiritual awakening. They will feel like rehab. You are going to experience a visceral, chemical withdrawal from validation. And I want you to know, this is perfectly normal. You aren't crazy. You are just unplugging a nervous system that has been wired for constant interruption since you were a teenager. For the first week, your brain will panic. You will reach for your phone to share a thought. And remember, there is nobody to share it with. You will feel phantom vibrations in your pocket. You will see something funny and instinctively look for an audience, only to find an empty room. Then, the fear of missing out will hit you like a physical blow. You will check social media, see your friends at a party, and you will think, they are forgetting me. And here is the hardest pill to swallow. They are. But listen to me. This is not a tragedy. It is a gift. When they forget you, the expectations disappear. The pressure to perform disappears. You are no longer an actor on a stage. You are finally the director. You are realizing that the world keeps spinning without you. And that realization is the ultimate freedom. Most people quit in month 2. They quit because the silence gets too loud. It forces them to hear the thoughts they have been running from for 10 years. They realize that without the noise, they feel empty. But you must endure this void. That emptiness you feel isn't depression. It's a construction site. You are clearing away the rubble of other people's opinions, so you can finally build something on solid ground. Month 1 is the funeral for your old self. Month 2 is the silence of the grave. But if you can stay in the chair, something miraculous happens in month 3. The silence stops feeling empty, and it starts feeling heavy, with power. Around month 3, the fever breaks, the pain of isolation vanishes, and it is replaced by a strange, cold clarity. You stop feeling lonely, and you start entering the state of solitude. You need to understand the difference, because it determines your entire future. Loneliness is the poverty of self. It is the anxiety that you are by yourself because you have been rejected. Solitude is the richness of self. It is the realization that you are by yourself because you are building something that requires total focus. In this state, the sovereign mind is born. For the first time, your thoughts are actually yours. You aren't repeating a tweet you saw. You aren't mimicking your friends. You are generating original ideas from the raw data of your own experience. The static noise of society clears, and suddenly, you can see the chessboard. You finally see exactly why that relationship was draining you. You see exactly why your career was stalled. The emotional fog lifts, and the logic remains. You realize how much energy you were wasting on permission seeking. Think about how much mental RAM you used to burn, worrying about what people thought of your clothes or your plans. When you disappear, that entire processing load is freed up. You become dangerous. Not dangerous to people, but dangerous to obstacles. You become unshakable. You stop asking, "Is this a good idea?" And you simply execute. You learn to validate yourself. The dopamine hit no longer comes from the like button. It comes from the mirror. It comes from knowing that you said you would do something, and you did it. And nobody had to watch for it to count. This is the state where the great works of history are created. No empire was ever built by a committee. Greatness requires a period of gestation in the dark. By month 6, you have completely rewritten your operating system. You are stronger, sharper, and faster than you have ever been. But now, you face the final test. You cannot stay in the cave forever. You must return to the civilization you left behind. And when you walk back through that door, you are going to feel a very specific, very haunting sensation. The world hasn't changed, but you have. When you finally emerge from the cocoon after 6 months, you will experience a phenomenon I call the stranger effect. You will walk back into your old life, and it will feel like walking into a museum. You will meet your old friends. They will be sitting at the same bar, telling the same stories, and laughing at the same jokes. And for the first time, you will see it clearly. Not with judgment, but with a strange sense of detachment. It's not that they are bad people. It is simply that they are operating on a frequency you no longer receive. They will look at you, and they will sense the shift. They won't be able to articulate it, but they will feel it. You are quieter. You are calmer. You don't jump to fill the silence anymore. You don't seek their validation. You have become a stranger to them. This moment is bittersweet. You will realize that you cannot unsee the matrix. The drama that used to engage you now feels like background noise. But let me be clear, this is not about arrogance. You aren't better than them. You have just traveled somewhere they haven't been yet. You realize that you couldn't save them by staying stuck with them. You didn't abandon people. You simply stopped abandoning yourself. This is the price of the upgrade. To become the person you are capable of being, you have to be willing to be misunderstood. You have to be willing to walk into a room and feel like an alien. But this is also the reward, because when you finally speak, the room changes. Not because you are loud, but because you are bringing something back from the desert that they have never seen. You are no longer an echo. You are a force. So, here is your choice. You can close this video and go back to the noise. You can text your friends, you can check your notifications, you can stay warm, comfortable, and sedated in the herd. It is safe there. Nobody will judge you. Nobody will challenge you. But nothing in your life will ever change. Or you can step into the void. You can make the decision right now to disappear, not forever, just for 6 months. 6 months is 0.6% of an average human life. Are you telling me you cannot sacrifice less than 1% of your life to reclaim the other 99? If you are terrified, good. That fear is your compass. It is telling you exactly where you need to go. The door is open. The desert is waiting. It will be quiet. It will be lonely. And it will be the most important thing you ever do. Don't announce it. Don't post about it. Just go. If you are ready to walk the path alone, click subscribe. Not for me, but as a signal to yourself that you are leaving the crowd behind. Disappear, and let your results introduce you when you return.